Hello and welcome to our English news edition, coming to you from Canal, Algérie, and in today's top stories. The President of the Republic receives the Vietnamese and Czech ambassadors who paid him a farewell visit at the end of their mission in Algeria. The Army General Sachin Greha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, is in Brazil representing the President of the Republic in the 13th edition of the Defense and Security Exhibition. And our nationals in France offer iftar meals to needy people and perpetuate the genuine Algerian values of solidarity during the blessed month of Ramadan. And demonstrators keep marking the daily life of Moroccans determined to more than ever before to denounce their harsh living conditions. Good evening and welcome back. Today's beginning is with the President of the Republic, who received on Monday the ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Nguyen Tan Vinh, who paid him a farewell visit at the end of his mission in Algeria, and that in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Mohamed Nadir Al-Arabawi. And the Vietnamese ambassador to Algeria made the following statement. Let's have a listen.
J'ai l'honneur de parler avec le Président de la République de le lien historique spécial entre le Vietnam et l'Algérie et comment on a
I had the honor to meet the Algerian president and review with him the historical ties between Algeria and Vietnam and how we can develop them in the upcoming future. Till now, the two countries consider the economic relations binding the two countries as weak compared to the political ones. That's why we aim at reinforcing the exchange of delegations, in particular the high-level ones, so that the two sides will have the opportunity to discuss ways and means of further upgrading cooperation in the economic field. And I think that in May there will be a meeting between the two countries, which will take place in Hanoi. I want to seize this opportunity to express my thanks to the ministers and all the Algerian authorities for their support I had as an ambassador. And on this occasion, I want to express my best wishes of happiness, success and prosperity to the Algerian people.
The President of the Republic also received on Monday the ambassador of the Czech Republic, Lenka Pokorna, who paid him a farewell visit at the end of her mission in Algeria, and that in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Mohamed Nadir Al-Arabawi. Let's have a statement made by the ambassador of the Czech Republic.
Je suis un peu triste, je suis contente d'avoir pu finalement rencontrer Monsieur le Président, mais je suis un peu triste de partir parce que ça fait presque 5 ans que j'ai...
I am happy to finally meet the President of the Republic, but at the same time a little sad to leave this country, in which I have been ambassador for almost 5 years. I hope that our bilateral relations have developed and that I was able to contribute to promote them, despite the fact that we lost a year and a half due to the coronavirus, but we still have to move forward. At the end of last year, we had a visit from our Minister of Trade, Energy and Industry, which was a great success, and I hope it will be mutual from the Algerian side, and that the relevant minister as well as the Prime Minister will enjoy his visit to Prague in the near future, so that our bilateral relations can be further upgraded and become more realistic. I am also pleased to point out the relationship, which I can describe as a very good, with the Ministry of Defense here in Algeria, and I hope that there will be the same thing with the Ministry of Culture, where we try to share our knowledge, especially in the field of protecting historical monuments.
Des monuments du patrimoine historique.
And at the invitation of the Brigadier General Rui Chagas Mesquita, the Army General Sachin Greha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, started an official visit to Brazil, representing the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, in order to take part in the 13th edition of the LAAD 2023 Defense and Security Exhibition, which will be held from the 11th until the 14th of the current month. This visit, which is part of the consolidation of cooperation between the People's National Army and the Brazilian Armed Forces, will also allow the two parties to examine issues of common interest. In another development, the Council of the Nation listened to a presentation on the organic law relating to information. It was indicated that in this regard, this law comes to meet the imperative of putting the legal arsenal of the communication sector in accordance with the principles provided by the new constitution. This took place during a plenary session chaired by the President of the Senate, Salah Goujil, in the presence of the Minister in charge of relations with the Parliament, Basma Azwar. And in his capacity as the President of the Union of the Assemblies of the Member States of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, the President of the National People's Assembly chaired the proceedings of an urgent meeting by video conference between the Trioca and the Palestine Commission. On the occasion, Brahim Boughali stressed the importance of this meeting, initiated in light of the gravity of the situation, a situation which is delicate, critical, and requires a high solidarity spirit to defend the rights of the Muslim nation in Al-Aqsa Mosque and protect the defenseless Palestinian people. In this regard, Boughali stated that the declaration of the meeting should include the strong condemnation of the storming of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the violation of its sanctity, and the hostile practices that violate the dignity and the rights of the Palestinian people. He also suggested that the declaration include a call to accountability of the international community towards the Palestinian people and the holy places as well. Following the authorization of importing some products and raw material, the operators active in this field are now allowed to domicile their license at the level of banks to speed up the whole process. More details with Najah Diyar.
In facilitating approach for import operations, economic operators active in the field of import of raw materials and goods intended for resale in the country will be able to domicile their licenses at the level of banks. This step follows the electronic import licenses launch in this April 5th. No need to waste time and money traveling all the way to Algiers. Licenses can be obtained at the banks. A new list of products authorized for import is published on the digital platform set by the Trade Ministry. The operator may import products non-manufactured locally or those whose national products does not cover the market demands, such as spare parts, certain medicines, chemicals, shoes and wood. The challenge for the government now is to replace the import by local production, to reduce complementary products import and increase exports. This whole process is in line with the government's program to put an end to the anarchy that has been marking the sector for a long time.
In other news, the catering center of Air Algérie is providing high-quality meals to Air Algérie customers and other airlines companies, a success that encouraged the Algerian Airlines company to launch another catering center to meet the increasing needs. Najah Diyar once again.
These varied dishes with a selection of fresh, local and seasonal products will be served on board of Air Algérie plane and several foreign airlines that have become customers of Air Algérie Caterings, a subsidiary of the National Airlines Company. This is our 9th year of activity. We have 572 employees. Before COVID, we used to provide about 3 million meals per year. Since the flight's resumption, we will exceed this number. Currently, we are working with 4 international companies providing numerous services such as the full catering services. We have worked with numerous companies such as Air Canada, Egypt Air and Tassili Airlines as well. In this unit, everything is well controlled, starting from the arrival of goods until their storage in cold rooms, to be used by chefs with large experience who make sure their customers have a nutritious and good-tasting dishes.
This catering services center works 24 hours with 4-shift system. We always work to improve our services in terms of quality.
Different menus are prepared according to a technical sheet for the first class, business class and economy class, and exceptionally boxes are served for the iftar. We have particular menus for each class, the first, the business and the economy class, and we have a special menu for Ramadan. To improve the catering services, a new center will be built at the Houari Boumediene Airport. As announced, another catering center will be achieved. We have begun the procedure to build a catering center that will be developed in line with the world standards. The subsidiary of Air Algérie remains attentive to its customers and always keen to offer them the best possible services.
Far from their homeland but still attached to their ancestral values, notably solidarity during this blessed month of Ramadan, our nationals in France are offering iftar meals to the needy people under the aegis of the Paris Grand Mosque. Medisa Kubash reports.
Since the beginning of this blessed month, volunteers gathered at the mosque of Umar ibn al-Khattab to prepare iftar meals for those in need.
We prepare iftar for people in need, divorced women, or those who work and don't have time to prepare meals. At the menu, shorba frik, potatoes, bread, al-matlou' and much more. My father is a volunteer here, and so I am. We are Muslims and we should stand by each other.
Like each year and after the prayer of Al-Maghrib, worshippers gather around the table to break their fast.
We provide food for homeless people, for those without legal documents, and all in need. This year we carry this tradition under the aegis of the Grand Mosque of Paris.
Other associations have benefited from the support of the Great Mosque of Paris.
It's
under the aegis of Paris Mosque that the regions of Saint-Étienne and Saint-Chamond distributed around 150 meals. The work is managed by the association Lamia, which I thank enormously, as well as the Chancellor of the Grand Mosque of Paris, who launched this initiative. Other organizations and donors support us and provide us with products that allow us to organize these iftar meals. We are proud to be part of this solidarity initiative.
À cette belle action de solidarité et de générosité.
Donc on remercie tous les bénévoles, tous les fidèles et tous les généreux donateurs qui nous ont permis de concocter plus de 100.
We thank all the volunteers and generous donors who allowed the preparation of 150 meals per day. We also thank drivers who deliver food to people in need.
A warm-hearted initiative launched under the aegis of the Grand Mosque of Paris to bring hope to those in need and stand side by side during this blessed month of Ramadan.
Ramadan Kareem, kul aam wa antum bi khair.
A number of Moroccan cities have been the scene of huge demonstrations held by trade unions to denounce the harsh living socio-economic situation they are living in, accusing the Makhzen regime of turning a deaf ear to their legitimate demands. More details with Medisa Kubash.
هذه وقفة ديال الجبهة الاجتماعية اللي فيها كاع تنظيمات وحدات وخرجت باش تكون بجنب الشعب ومع الشعب ضد الغلاء.
The high cost of living in Morocco has become unbearable. Many have taken to the streets to denounce the policy of impoverishment led by the Makhzen regime, who keeps ignoring the legitimate demands of people.
مشيتي باش ديري شي حرفه، مشيتي باش تشري راس المال والو، كتمشي كتقدم شي حاجه، المواد كاين غاليين، كتجي كتحطها كتبغي تخرج ما كاينش خروج، الناس كتعاني اخويا، الناس كتعاني بزاف.
A disastrous situation that has pushed many Moroccans into exile. People can't even afford basic foodstuffs such as vegetable or flour.
كاين عائلات اللي ماتت، كاين عائلات اللي مشات حرقت اليوم وماتت، عائله مشات الاب والولد ديالو مشاو ماتوا، مشاو بناتو ماتوا. علاش غابروا هاد البلاد حيت ما كلاوش يبقاو ما يديروا فيها، كلشي فيها وما خلاو لنا فيها والو، كلشي عندنا الحمد لله، كلشي كسبوا وما خلاو لنا حتى شي حاجه.
ولادهم مشاو ماتوا في قوارب الموت لاجل الغلاء، لاجل القهر، كلشي هذا هو الاسباب.
Unfortunately, Moroccans are plunged into extreme poverty, worsened by the skyrocketing increase in the unemployment rate, a situation that isn't likely to get any better soon. The American financial agency Fitch Solutions has lowered its economic growth forecasts for Morocco from 3.4% to 1.8% for the year 2023 due to the galloping inflation.
Still in Morocco, which has been jolted by the UN maps with the real borders of Western Sahara, challenging Morocco's attempts to overshadow the international legality. Let's find out more in this story compiled by Ines Kulu.
On this map of the African continent, the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic clearly appears as a separate territory from Morocco. In its latest update of the continental maps published in its website, the UN recalls the real borders of Western Sahara and the capital Ayoun, undermining all desperate Moroccan attempts to conceal international legality. In its 1975 advisory opinion, the International Court of Justice concluded that the elements and information brought to its attention didn't establish any link to territorial sovereignty between Western Sahara and Morocco, which introduced all the international resolutions that consider Western Sahara a separate area over which Morocco has no form of sovereignty. The international community has also recognized that the final status of this non-self-governing territory must be determined under the auspices of the United Nations in accordance with the international law. Therefore, the absurd Moroccan attempts to distort reality and full international legality are doomed to failure. The issue of maps was raised again to confirm once again that the territory of the Sahrawi Republic is completely separate from Morocco, which tries every time to reduce international equality to an imaginary map without borders between its soil and the desert hills. The Makhzen does not hesitate to sow chaos and mischief on every occasion when its real borders are presented without Western Sahara coming up against the reality of the position of states and organizations in favor of international and UN resolutions on the matter.
And with that, today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.